Cards Middle East is on once again, all things payments and cards here in Dubai. Now, one announcement that's being made at the event is that National Pay are about to roll out the world's first self-service kiosk across the Emirates. Now, this is a machine capable of instant issuance and activation of payments cards. Hsin Hau Hanna is the VP of Global Communications at Gemalto. It's a Gemalto technology, and he joins us on the line. Welcome back, Hsin Hau.
Thank you. Good to be back.
So look, you're showing this off at the event this week. You're going to have a demo kiosk on your stand. So you're effectively going to be issuing prepaid banking cards on the spot. Is that right?
Yes, and I hope to demonstrate a couple of real-life cards for some of our visitors.
This is an interesting thing because at the moment we go through what can be a lengthy, your card expires, the bank sends you a new card by courier, you have to talk to the courier, they have to find you, then you have to activate the card and go through that procedure. So feasibly, we are really about to see new banking cards being issued immediately, aren't we?
You know, this kind of creates a real challenge on customer loyalty. You know, asking your customers to wait for I think the average that I saw in the U.S. is somewhere between 7 to 10 days for a new card to arrive and be activated, seeing from the bank's point of view. So you're really testing your customers' patience when you're asking them to go for days without a payment means and one that they're very familiar with. Giving people instant ability to have their card to pay, whether it's a existing loyal customer or acquiring a new customer, you know, it only goes towards making sure that your bank's brand and being top of wallet, making sure that the end users have a way to pay for convenience, to stay loyal and be a customer and use the services that you offer. That's what it really is about, you know.
To be fair to the banks, in my experience here in the Emirates, for example, the banks get the cards out pretty quick. But I'm still slightly worried about the activation of the card and whether the old one is cancelled. There's always something there in the back of my mind. And I guess if I went to a machine and was able to replace my card, if it was not working for whatever reason, the strip on the back was causing an issue or whatever, and I could get a new card immediately, there is also that peace of mind there.
Well, I think the back end has always been a challenge, but I will say that the back end processing, it is not a technical challenge as such. Most of the time, as we help our customers, the banks or other card issuance customers, the challenge that we help them with is dealing with legacy systems or dealing with compliance issues or certification issues. So a lot of these have to do with processing and regulatory issues that we help them with. In terms of technology itself, making sure that the technology works, that it's secure, that the right data is handled the right way, this is something that we've been doing for 20 years. So it's something that we have to prove to our customer that the solution works well, and for our customers, probably the most important aspect of their brand, that they don't have a mistake in terms of handling your data, you being a consumer, or your bank card, and making sure that you have a sort of peace of mind. So, you know, it's a very mission-critical aspect of the entire data processing chain, if you like.
Well, it really is. And, of course, if you get this right as a financial institution, as a bank, then, generally speaking, your customer repays you with more loyalty and stays with you, I suppose. So that makes sense. This is a world first, isn't it, with these machines? You're going to be... am I right in saying there are going to be 200 unmanned kiosks planned here in the Emirates with National Pay?
This is the first plan, the phase one of the plan that National Pay's put together. In terms of instant issuance, the ability to do instant issuance, this has been piloted and been done commercially in other parts of the world, but it's the first time there's an unmanned machine that's been really left for the consumer to take control of their own timing or when they need a card and so on. I think what this goes towards is kind of a I want to say democratization, but what it really is going with the time of the consumers. You know, the consumers are evolving very quickly. New generations of consumers are coming in with much stronger appetite to have a very different relationship with technology, whether it's online payment, whether it's using their mobile phones, and very soon with wearables. What they're asking their service providers, the banks or let's say a gift card from a shopping mall or others, what they're asking for them to do is have a different kind of experience. taking control of them. People like to use their own apps. People like to have their own mobile phone experience. And so all of this is really a major trend in payment space to move forward to serve a new generation of digital natives, of mobile natives, of people who are relatively impatient in some ways. They try fast, they like it, they use it, they don't like it, they let it go. Customer loyalty is changing a lot, and payment is something that we will never walk away from. But the triggers for how people purchase something has dramatically changed with the introduction of internet, which has been, 10, 15 years with us. But online commerce and social media and how people find what they want to buy, how they buy things, how they share with other people, this is very quickly moving, even as we speak, all over the world, here included. So, I think instant issuance is going with that trend. It's about the immediacy. It's about giving people what they want immediately and put it right in their hands. That's what it really is all about.
And that control, and we all like having control over our money, I guess.
Absolutely.
Let me just bring out some points on new technologies. You talked about a number of things there. And what else are you showcasing at Cards Middle East? Because in this region, we're all used to chip and pin. That's a given now. Debit cards, however, wear out quite fast. You lose them. And loads of us now have the facility, the potential perhaps, to pay for goods and services with the tap of a smartphone or even a smartwatch in some cases. But the question has always been, as far as I can tell, when's that really going to start to happen here?
It's a relative question. When is it really going to start? Like all new technologies, I think the adoption is gradual.
Right.
Part of it has to do with people's habits. Part of it has to do with generation shifts. But we see much more attention coming now. I mean, with some help with people like Apple launching Apple Pay and Watch, and the entire technology space is moving forward. Just last month, we Gemalto were supported the rugby union in the UK with a pilot to give rugby fans a wristband to use in the stadium. So you could say that's not huge volume at the global basis, but clearly there is appetite for people to try new things, to pay with a wearable. A wearable can be a watch, but watch is a complex and expensive item at the same time that requires a lot of over-the-air management, or at least it's somehow synced up with a mobile phone. So if your mobile phone and your watch is not exactly the same brand, or if your bank is present on one and not the other, there's a lot of complexity around it. Even as we speak, we will have some demos to show mobile payment for sure, but also simpler ways for banks to immediately address the interest to have for someone wearing a wristband, as a contactless wristband that can be used to pay for things, as a ticket to access different services. It could be a concert venue, it could be a transport ticket, it can be various things. So loading the data is what we're good at. Managing the data securely, and then loading the data is what we're good at. It's what we help our customers with. So there's a lot of consumer objects, a lot of payment means, payment format that's I would say being innovated, being trialed. For sure, the consumers at the global basis will also take some time in different countries to have different pace of adoption, but the appetite is very clearly there. I mean, we see these projects being launched around the world. It's a very exciting time.
Final question, back to the kiosk, the self-service kiosk. Debit cards, credit cards, loyalty cards. What kinds of cards are we likely to see that we're going to be able to produce ourselves, if you like, in the not-too-distant future?
Well, I think there's a huge market here for prepaid cards. That's what I understood. The prepaid card market here in the Middle East is growing quite fast. The last number that I saw was something like contactless card shipment in the Middle East, something like somewhere in the range of about 11 to 15 million cards, contactless cards. Could be up to 20 million by the end of the year. That's very substantial. And prepaid cards, there's already something like close to 40 million prepaid cards in circulation in the Middle East. So there's a lot of shopping going on here in Dubai and around the Middle East. Contactless cards is a way to make things simpler. Whether people want to have credit cards or debit cards or prepaid cards, I think what it comes down to is actually giving consumer more choice. If some people would like to have multiple cards, they are each done for different purposes, for different members of the family. I believe in giving consumer more options, giving them more cards. So with a kiosk and with a setup like the one we've done, hopefully what it allows the banks to do is to really segment their customer base, and so that it gives more flexibility to the different customers. But in the end, those are very much in use, I believe.
Hsin Hau Hanna is VP of Global Communications at Gemalto, in town for what's billed as the region's largest smart card, payments and ID card event. That's Cards Middle East, which is on at the Dubai World Trade Center. So now, good to talk to you. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much.